At exactly 0243 hours on May 24, 2025, 3 Ukrainian strike drones pierced the darkness over the occupied Zaporizhia Oblast, their engines emitting a barely perceptible hum. Their mission? To cripple one of Russia's most critical logistics lifelines. The target was an 8-car fuel train, carrying an estimated 560 tons of diesel and aviation fuel, a supply sufficient to sustain 2 Russian battalions for up to 7 days. The stakes were high. Disrupting this single delivery would significantly impact Russian operational capacity in the region. The drones, modified Bay RTB2s, carried heat-high explosive anti-tank munitions, specifically calibrated to ignite volatile cargo such as fuel. Flying at an altitude of 2,500 meters, the drones relied on real-time intelligence provided by ground-based spotters and satellite feeds. Their approach was methodical, each drone zeroing in on a separate car to maximize destruction and ensure the train's incapacitation. At 0244 hours, the first drone released its payload, striking the lead car with surgical precision. The resulting explosion caused a chain reaction, igniting the subsequent cars in rapid succession. Within 10 seconds, a fireball illuminated the night sky, visible from over 9.5 miles away. The second and third drones followed suit, targeting the middle and rear cars, effectively trapping the entire train in flames and cutting off any possibility of salvaging the cargo. The explosion registered on seismic sensors, and the plume of black smoke reached an altitude of over 500 meters, marking the destruction for Russian reinforcements scrambling to respond. By 0300 hours, reconnaissance drones confirmed the train's total destruction, with 95% of the fuel rendered unusable. Rail tracks were warped and rendered inoperable over a 300-meter stretch, effectively severing a key supply route. The drones of war. The operation hinged on a well-coordinated team of 5 specialized drones, each fulfilling a critical role in ensuring mission success. These drones represented the cutting edge of asymmetric warfare, leveraging commercial technology modified for military applications. Reconnaissance, a DJI Mavic 3, equipped with thermal imaging capabilities, provided overwatch from a safe distance of 5 miles. Its 20-megapixel Hasselblad camera and 56x hybrid zoom allowed operators to track the train's movement with surgical precision. The integration of Lear boson thermal cores enabled it to detect heat signatures at night, ensuring visibility in complete darkness. With a top speed of 68 kilometers per hour and a flight duration of 46 minutes, it offered unmatched endurance for persistent surveillance. Strike units. 3 Ukrainian-built FPV quadcopters formed the offensive core of the mission. Designed for speed and lethality, these drones featured 7-inch propellers, 2 807-class brushless motors, and custom Betaflight firmware for optimal performance. Reaching dive speeds of over 140 kilometers per hour, they were equipped with hardened steel tungsten warheads, capable of penetrating 22 millimeters of armor, ideal for destroying fuel tank cars with pinpoint accuracy. Backup support. A second DJI Mavic. 3 remained on standby, ready to replace the primary reconnaissance unit in case of technical issues or enemy interference. This redundancy underscored the meticulous planning behind the operation, ensuring no single failure would compromise the mission. These drones were far from ordinary. The DJI Mavic 3S, although originally commercial, had undergone extensive modifications in Ukraine. Their upgraded firmware and thermal imaging capabilities made them invaluable for night operations. Meanwhile, the FPV quadcopters were purpose-built for destruction. Their warheads, modeled after anti-armor munitions, were engineered to create high-temperature explosions, igniting the fuel tank cars and ensuring maximum disruption to enemy logistics. The combination of advanced reconnaissance and high-speed attack drones exemplified a new era of warfare, where relatively low-cost platforms could achieve strategic outcomes traditionally requiring far more resources. This operation demonstrated how precision, planning, and innovation could turn off-the-shelf technology into devastatingly effective military tools. Setting the trap. Inside a secure Ukrainian command center, located 19 miles from the strike zone, operators sat before a bank of monitors, their focus unbroken as live feeds streamed from the reconnaissance drone. Using thermal imaging, the drone locked onto its target, the train's locomotive. The diesel engine's heat signature, glowing brightly against the cooler surroundings, made it an unmistakable beacon in the night. This precise targeting was the result of 72 hours of relentless intelligence gathering. Ukrainian forces relied on a covert network of partisan spotters, civilians living under Russian occupation, armed with little more than smartphones and sheer courage. These individuals monitored the train's movements, reporting its schedule, speed, and vulnerabilities in real time. The intelligence pinpointed a 15-minute window, the exact stretch of track where the train would be furthest from Russian air defense systems and most exposed to attack. The planning didn't stop there. Analysts in the command center used satellite imagery and geospatial data to confirm the train's route. Reconnaissance drones, equipped with FLIR thermal cameras, mapped the area, identifying potential defensive assets and obstacles. This meticulous preparation ensured the strike team had a complete operational picture, reducing the risk of error. The command center itself was an example of resilience and ingenuity. Hidden within a reinforced facility, it was equipped with encrypted communication systems and backup power supplies to withstand both physical and electronic attacks. Operators communicated through secure satellite links, ensuring the partisans' reports were seamlessly integrated into the mission plan without risking their exposure. As the locomotive moved into the target zone, the operators gave the green light. It wasn't just the culmination of technical precision, but also a testament to the bravery of ordinary citizens who turned intelligence into actionable military outcomes. The trap was set, and the mission's success now hinged on flawless execution. Electronic warfare and countermeasures. As the first strike drone began its descent, its presence triggered a response from a Russian Lear 3 electronic warfare (EW) system, positioned 2 miles from the target. Mounted on a KAMAZ 5350 tactical truck, the Lear 3 quickly activated its broadband jamming capabilities, saturating the airwaves with interference designed to disrupt GPS signals and communication frequencies across a 19 miles radius. The operators manning the system, confident in its ability to neutralize unshielded drones, prepared to eliminate the incoming threat. The Ukrainian strike team, however, had anticipated this countermeasure. Both the reconnaissance drone and the strike quadcopters employed frequency hopping spread spectrum technology, an advanced communication protocol. This system caused the drones to rapidly switch between hundreds of frequencies per second, rendering it nearly impossible for Russian jammers to lock onto a single frequency long enough to disrupt communications. When the Lear 3 switched tactics, initiating GPS spoofing by broadcasting false satellite signals to mislead the drone's navigation systems, the onboard inertial measurement units took control. These IMUs, equipped with high-precision gyroscopes and accelerometers, calculated the drone's position and velocity in real time, independent of external signals. This technology ensured that the drones could maintain their flight path and execute their mission, even in the most contested electromagnetic environments. Adding to the Ukrainian advantage, the drones were programmed with preloaded waypoints and terrain data, allowing them to operate autonomously if all communication links were severed. This layered redundancy minimized the impact of EW attacks, ensuring the strike remained on target. The engagement between the Lear 3 system and the Ukrainian drones was a textbook example of modern electronic warfare, a contest of jamming, spoofing, and counter-spoofing technologies where success depended not only on superior equipment, but also on anticipation and adaptability. For Ukraine, this victory showcased the resilience of their drone warfare strategy against one of Russia's most sophisticated EW platforms. The first strike. At 02:44 hours, the lead strike drone began its terminal dive. Its onboard systems switched to optical guidance, using real-time imagery to ensure precision. The target, the third car of the train, a fuel tanker carrying 69 tons of diesel. The drone's 6-pound shaped charge warhead, engineered for maximum penetration, struck the tanker's 12-millimeter thick steel wall at a nearly vertical angle. Within milliseconds, the warhead detonated, releasing a focused jet of superheated metal capable of breaching heavily armored vehicles, let alone a fuel car. The resulting explosion was both immediate and catastrophic. Temperatures inside the tanker soared to over 4,500 degrees Fahrenheit, instantly vaporizing the diesel. The rapid expansion of superheated gases created a shockwave powerful enough to rupture adjacent tankers. The fireball, visible from more than 6.5 miles away, tore through the train's containment system and ignited nearby fuel stores. The interconnected ventilation systems, originally designed for efficient fuel transfer between cars, inadvertently acted as conduits for the fire. Flames spread rapidly, consuming 3 additional tankers within seconds. The explosion warped the steel chassis of the train cars and melted key components of the railway infrastructure, rendering a 300-meter stretch of track inoperable. By 2:45 hours, reconnaissance drones confirmed secondary explosions as munitions stored in nearby cars were ignited. These explosions added to the chaos, scattering debris across the surrounding area. Initial assessments estimated that 90% of the train's fuel payload was destroyed, causing a logistical crisis for the Russian forces reliant on the shipment. This strike was not just a tactical victory, it was a demonstration of the devastating potential of modern drone warfare. A relatively inexpensive drone, equipped with precision-guided munitions, had inflicted millions of dollars in damage and disrupted weeks of supply planning. For Ukraine, it underscored the power of innovation and preparation in asymmetric conflict, escalating the inferno. As the initial explosion engulfed the train, the second and third strike drones moved into position. The second drone locked onto the 6th tank car, while the third drone set its sights on the 8th and final car. The strikes ignited an additional 138 tons of diesel and aviation fuel, compounding the devastation. The resulting explosions unleashed a chain reaction that intensified the destruction. Within 15 seconds, 4 tank cars were engulfed in flames. The inferno merged into a single towering fireball, with flames reaching heights of over 50 meters and generating temperatures exceeding 2,800 degrees Celsius. The extreme heat melted nearby railway infrastructure, including switching mechanisms and signal systems. The sheer energy of the explosions caused shockwaves that radiated outward, shattering windows and damaging structures within a 1-mile radius. The steel tracks beneath the train, exposed to sustained high temperatures, warped into twisted ruins, rendering a 400-meter section of the railway line completely inoperable. Satellite images taken shortly after the strike revealed a scarred landscape with blackened earth and debris scattered across the blast zone. The cascading explosions were amplified by the flammable vapors venting from partially ruptured fuel tanks. These vapors, mixing with the superheated air, created secondary fireballs that further destabilized the wreckage. By the time the flames began to subside, the train was reduced to a charred skeleton, and the surrounding area was littered with the remnants of scorched railcars and melted steel. The impact on Russian logistics. This single strike dealt a severe blow to Russian supply lines. The destroyed 560 tons of fuel represented a critical loss, potentially delaying operations for weeks. The damaged railway line, one of the few remaining in the area, would require extensive repairs under the constant threat of further Ukrainian strikes. For Russia, the cost wasn't just logistical, but psychological. The attack demonstrated Ukraine's ability to operate with precision and effectiveness deep within enemy-held territory, even in the face of sophisticated electronic warfare systems. The human element. While the technology behind the operation was cutting-edge, it was the human element that truly stood out. The partisan spotters, risking torture or death if discovered, provided the intelligence that made the strike possible. The Ukrainian drone operators, working tirelessly in their bunker, adapted in real time to counter Russian countermeasures. Their efforts culminated in a scene of fiery devastation captured in stunning 4K resolution, a testament to both their skill and the resilience of Ukraine's resistance. A new era of warfare. The strike on the Zaporizhia fuel train highlighted the evolving nature of modern warfare. Relatively low-cost drones, paired with advanced reconnaissance and meticulous planning, proved capable of inflicting damage on par with traditional airstrikes. As the flames of the destroyed train lit up the night sky, it was clear that Ukraine had not only dealt a significant blow to its adversary, but also showcased the future of asymmetric warfare. The battlefield is no longer defined by tanks and artillery alone. It is a domain where ingenuity, technology, and courage reign supreme. The final fireball. By 0246 hours, the fire had reached such intensity that it generated its own weather system. Powerful convection currents pulled air into the blaze, feeding it as a 200-meter column of smoke and flame rose into the sky. The fire burned uncontrollably for hours, a defiant signal of Ukraine's resolve and ingenuity. The Russians could only watch, their Lear 3 jammers now silent, as their supply train was reduced to ash. Repair crews would face weeks of arduous work to restore the railway, assuming Ukrainian drones didn't return to disrupt their efforts. Was this strike a tactical genius move or an escalation that risks deeper conflict? Share your take in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more frontline updates and expert analysis.